Does that mean you like him or no?
No,
Can these people come out of base? Finally, there's a sniper. There we go. He's dead now.
Oh, you son of a... Of course you get a random crit. This is why I like it.
There we go. Okay. Hello guys, I'm the Gamer Raider 10, and welcome back to more Team Fortress 2. In the last episode, we looked over the most powerful class in the game, the Medic. In this episode, one bullet. That's all it takes. One bullet is all you need to put down any class in this game. You may push back on that statement with classes like Heavy, or Engineer, or Scout, but there's one class who embraces that philosophy, and who knows that the best way to put his foes down is to do so from a distance. A single zip and it's off to respawn. It takes a professional. It takes an Outbacker straight from down under. It takes Sniper.
Professionals have standards. Be polite. Be efficient. Have a plan to kill everyone you meet.
Sniper is ridiculous. Some would argue he's overpowered, and honestly, I can see where they're coming from. In a game where most classes specialize in mid to close range, here comes Sniper as the game's only long-range specialist. Sniper has the capability to take down any class in the game with any level of overheal in one shot. Well, okay, there's a catch to this one-shotting ability, and there are a few special conditions where Sniper just can't one-shot someone, but we'll go over that in a bit. For now, let's dive in and take a look at Sniper, starting with what he brings to the table. There's not much to Sniper as a class on his own, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just like any other light class, his base health is 125 HP, so we're not working with someone who will stick around for long if you get the drop on him. He also sports average walking speed, like with NG and Pyro, and fair enough, he doesn't really need to do a lot of walking. And last, like I mentioned before, Sniper is the only dedicated long-range class in the game. He's strongest when he's away from the front lines and out of range of danger. True to his characterization, Sniper stays out of the action. It's not that he can't defend himself in close range, shut up, but it's obvious that he's supposed to stay away from the action and pick his targets off one by one. Yep, Sniper is a pick class, which makes sense lore-wise given that he's actually a hired assassin rather than a mercenary, which makes him ideal for taking down, say, a well-protected medic or an adept heavy. The stock Sniper rifle is a thing of beauty and terror. It fires one bullet at a time that, by default, does 50 damage shooting anywhere on an enemy's body and or while unscoped. However, as long as you're scoped in, after about 0.3 seconds, the Sniper rifle starts charging up, over a time of about 3.3 seconds. As the charge builds, so too does the rifle's damage, capping out at 150 on a fully charged body shot. However, there's a certain thing you can do that should seem pretty obvious if you've played other shooter games before. Headshots. Each time you shoot an enemy in the head while scoped in, you get a guaranteed critical hit. And yes, it scales with charge time. By default, your headshot does 150 damage, enough to kill any light class plus a medic or gunslinger NG. Let the rifle fully charge, and you're doing 450 damage with every shot, which is exactly enough to shoot a fully overhealed heavy dead. This is what I mean by it taking one bullet to kill any class. Headshots are Sniper's bread and butter and how he's going to best help out the team. There are a few drawbacks to the Sniper rifle in general. For one, the rifle has a laser sight that can alert enemies to the presence of a sniper and possibly to your position, so you need to bear that in mind and keep your laser hidden. Second, staying scoped in for so long and not letting go of your charge can lead to tunnel vision, and it's more common than you realize for someone, say a soldier or scout, to get the drop on you from behind or from the sides. Sometimes you're just not going to notice someone because you're trying to do your job as best you can. That's just part of the Sniper's lifestyle. Lastly, hitting headshots, particularly on people who move around, aka anyone playing this game, requires at least a modicum of skill. And trust me, even as someone who spent a major part of his time playing Sniper, even I sometimes miss stationary targets and feel terrible about myself afterwards. You're sometimes just gonna have those off days where you can't seem to hit anyone. But that's okay. You think Babe Ruth started playing baseball instantly able to hit home runs? Hell no! Every single person playing this game is a human being. We're not perfect. My team lead at my current job gave me some really good advice. Don't beat yourself up, just be better. Keep playing Sniper and you're bound to improve, day by day. Though, maybe switch classes if the team's struggling, you know? Like, go NG and put a sentry up or go medic and heal the team. Please. Anyway, Sniper Secondary, the SMG, is honestly pretty overlooked. It's a bit similar to Scout or NG's pistol in that it fires a perfectly accurate first shot before its bullet spread kicks in. It has a much bigger clip size and higher fire rate compared to the pistol at 10 bullets per second, which do anywhere from 4 to 12 damage depending on your distance to the target. It's meant to be a self-defense weapon if you find yourself getting run down by an incoming ambush and is most effective at mid-range. Any closer and you're better off just using your melee. Speaking of, the Kukri. It's a stock melee weapon, what more can I say? It's effective when the enemy gets up in your face and you're not feeling confident you can headshot them, which is more difficult than you'd think given that their head zips across your crosshair. The Kukri is reliable and consistent, like a stock melee should be. Little more can be said. In regards to his role on offense and defense, Sniper's in a relatively unique position among the rest of the classes. Because he's meant to be far away from the action, you can't really do a whole lot in your enemies' faces as Sniper. You're supposed to stay in the background, picking off enemies one by one, or more if you're using the Machina or Shooting Star. With all that being said, I'm going to try my best to provide some more actionable things you can do as a Sniper in both roles. On offense, it's important to keep yourself moving with the team's push. Unless you just happen to catch out a scout or spy deep behind your team's lines and can either headshot them or use the Girardi Bushwhacker combo, you should keep yourself moving forward as your team pushes further into the enemy base. Otherwise, you're not going to get many kills, if any, and you may as well not be on the team. You should think of yourself as like a dispenser. You're most effective when you're just behind the front lines, only you're a bit farther back and more out of danger. On defense, you'll want to be a little less mobile due to needing to help the team hold the front line still. With this in mind, I'd say that your best bet is to find a place where you can get a good view of both the enemy team's base as well as where the action will be, say near a control point. That way you can help the team survive a bit easier. Considering Sniper does 50 whole HP of damage by default with his primary, even if you miss your headshot, that's still 50 less HP that the team has to deal with. Having a view of the enemy's base also allows you to weaken enemies just coming into the fight, forcing them to switch up their plans now that they're more fragile. Just like Spy, as an assassin, Sniper's at his strongest when the enemy is distracted by his team, especially as they're retreating. In this case, the enemy will be too busy trying to evade your team to realize that you're there and a threat to their lives. There's a certain Sniper weapon that embodies the will to be more in the action and mobile, but we'll go over that in due time. For now, let's take a look at Sniper's unlocks. The Hitman's Heatmaker is one of the weapons of all time. The Heatmaker deals 20% less damage on body shot, meaning that even if you shot a light class with a fully charged shot, they're not going down, so this weapon demands that you get good at hitting headshots, which is actually pretty nice as a set of training wheels, even if it's a negative with this weapon. Further, your shots are quieter so enemies aren't as able to pinpoint your location, or even that you exist until you get that first kill. Headshots also decapitate enemies like with the Eyelander, which is kind of funny honestly, I really like that detail. The main draw of the Heatmaker is the focus system. As you deal damage with the Heatmaker, your focus builds, and unlike other metered weapons like Demo Shields, Soldier's Backpacks, or the game's various liquid weapons, focus can be activated at any time. When in focus, you never unscope between shots, and you have a 25% faster charge rate for your shots, so you'll be doing more damage more of the time. Interestingly, focus actually builds back up with damage even if you're already using it. This means you can keep yourself in focus theoretically forever as long as you have bodies and heads to shoot. You do gain tracer rounds when you're in focus, so you're a little more vulnerable to blowing your position, but I think that's fine. It's quite a bit extra power for a fair drawback. I guess this weapon kind of turns Sniper even more into a glass cannon in both directions. The Machina is basically focus, but not quite as good, I don't think? Well, okay. The Machina is still a solid weapon in its own right. Now, you can't fire this thing unless you're scoped in, so you're weaker at closer range. Plus, you have the same tracer rounds as when you're in focus, only this time it's permanent, so you're more likely to have your position revealed while using it. But there are two facets of this weapon that give it an edge over its contemporaries, though they only work when this weapon is fully charged. 1. Your shots penetrate enemies, making it a really nice way to deal with medics by shooting through their patience, though only if they're in the path of the bullet. And 2. Your fully charged shots do 15% more damage to enemies, making your body shots do 173 damage and your headshots 518. This doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme since you don't really cross any significant damage thresholds that you couldn't before, but against enemies with buffs or damage resistances, it's a serviceable upside. Plus, against demos and pyros, a fully charged body shot leaves them with only 2 HP, so a breeze could kill them at that point. Overall, a relatively defensive weapon given that unscoping punishes you, but still a good pick all the same. The Sydney Sleeper. My old primary of choice. This one's got a confusingly conflicting design. Your headshots no longer crit, instead doling mini crits. When you shoot someone with this weapon while scoped, you apply a Girardi effect to them for anywhere from 2 seconds to 5 seconds based on your charge, and your charge rate is a flat 25% faster than stock. As well, scoped headshots decrease your Girardi's cooldown by 1 second. Your shots, scoped or otherwise, also extinguish burning teammates. Yep, this is a supportive weapon, though here's the thing. Girardi does everything this weapon does, but better, save for actually damaging enemies. It feels like this weapon wasn't made just with Girardi in mind, but as a secondary weapon where you're using Girardi as your primary. A lot of good sniper positions are near spawn rooms, and resupply lockers completely refill your Girardi instantly, and Girardi in general lasts double the max time of the sleeper shots, and you can coat multiple enemies in one go. The sniper isn't terrible, it's just, why is this thing a dedicated secondary to Girardi? Anyway, the bizarre friggin' bargain. It's a pretty simple weapon. At base, it charges half as slowly as stock, but its charge rate increases as you get more and more headshot skills with it, at 25% more kill. This means that after 2 kills, it's just as good as stock, and any kill after that just makes it a straight upgrade from stock, capping at 6 kills for 200% charge rate or twice as fast. This thing is ridiculous in the hands of a good sniper. I mean, hell, lots of bizarre bargain snipers will just forego headshots after 6 kills because there's no real point to getting more. You're doing quickscope damage after about 2 seconds once you're at 6 kills, so why bother going for a flashy headshot unless you're up against a heavy? And even then, he's going to fall to a headshot in about 3 seconds, so... Long story short, if you consider yourself even decent as a sniper, you're probably going to run the bizarre bargain. After 2 headshots, it's a stock reskin, and any headshots after that, it's a straight upgrade. I don't blame you if you have or have had trouble figuring out the Classic. The Classic has a very unique way of firing. You hold down your fire button in order to charge it up and release to fire. A lot of new players can't quite figure this out, and that's fine. Even I had some trouble trying to figure it out at first. Interestingly, this rifle actually can charge even when you're not scoped in, so you actually can have a much wider view of the battle by way of eliminating tunnel vision and make you more formidable in middle to close range. It also gives enemies that it kills, similar to an explosive weapon, which could trick enemies into not realizing a sniper is present, though the Classic does greatly suffer with its caveats. It can't do headshot damage unless you're fully charged, so bye-bye quickscope headshots. It suffers from a 10% damage reduction in body shots, so you're not going to one-shot medics when fully charged unless you headshot them. And lastly, your shots leave a dim but noticeable trail. It's not nearly as prominent as the trails of the Machina or Huntsman, but it's still noticeable and can betray your position and presence, especially if you miss. The damage reduction and gimped headshotting capability is what really holds this weapon back. If you're suffering from tunnel vision, maybe you get some use out of this weapon, but ultimately, it's just not that good. The Cleaner's Carbine is kinda okay? Well, it's alright as a finisher tool, I suppose. You have a reduced clip size and significantly slower firing speed, but in exchange, damage dealt charges this thing called Crikey. No, I'm serious, it's called Crikey. Crikey builds when shooting enemies with the carbine, and this includes disguised spies and enemy buildings. When your Crikey meter is full after 100 damage, you can right-click and enable mini crits on yourself for all of your weapons for 8 seconds, like a junior version of the Kritzkrieg. It sounds really nice, and yeah, you can go on tears using this mechanic in tandem with the Bushwhacker, but for one, 100 damage on a slow-firing weapon that does 8 damage with each bullet is a pretty steep cliff, and it doesn't quite work that well with the stock sniper rifle since you're going to be spending precious mini-crit time charging to make the most out of it, which really hurts if you miss your shot. More than anything, I would use this weapon to buff your melee weapon unless you're using the Huntsman. Basically, Sniper watched Scout going crazy with the critical and went, "Bloody hell, I can do that too!" So he charged up his Crikey meter, went up against an enemy, and immediately got mowed down by gunfire with not much to show for his efforts. Let's talk about Sniper's most infamous weapon, Jarate. Yes, it's a jar of piss. Yes, you can throw it at enemies. Yes, it's arguably Sniper's best weapon. Anyway, Jarate, when it hits enemies, soaks them in the piss, thus enabling mini crits on them, making them much flimsier. It's kinda like being marked for death, but you can actually get rid of Jarate by entering the water or touching a resupply cabinet. And you can coat as many enemies as are in the radius of Jarate. And against enemy spies, it can actually reveal them both through their disguise and through their cloak, enabling them to be tracked down and killed by Sniper or his teammates. As well, you can extinguish yourself and your teammates with Jarate if they get set on fire, which actually removes 20% of the charge time of your next throw. You can also replenish it at a resupply locker, and you start out each life with your Jarate ready to throw. Really, the only two downsides are that pyros can reflect it, but good luck finding a pyro who will try to use that to their advantage, and that it leaves you without a secondary weapon to defend yourself once someone gets the drop on you. But you have a very powerful rifle that can one-shot half the classes in the game in an instant, and a melee that has a chance of one-shotting even more of those classes through random crits. Hell, honestly, it just does everything the Sydney Sleeper can do, but better. Jarate is a very powerful, very effective utility. I wouldn't mind seeing it nerfed. Just make it so you can't throw it right after spawning, and so it can't be replenished at a resupply locker. The Razorback, the I Hate Spies weapon. In exchange for your secondary weapon, you get a shield on your back that protects you against one backstab from a spy, and leaves that spy stunned for a few seconds, where he can't attack nor switch weapons. He's like, how the hell did that not work? The Razorback breaks after one backstab and either must be replenished at a resupply or by waiting 30 seconds. The Razorback also lets out a loud noise and electric sound upon successfully blocking a backstab. It's a pretty simple secondary replacement, and I'd be inclined to call it amazing, if not for the fact that, Spy has a gun that he can shoot snipers dead with. I'd argue that the Razorback at least gets a pass because you at least shut off the insta-kill capability of Spy, barring the Ambassador, as well as make your Eternal Reward a direct downgrade, so you get a chance at actually noticing him and finishing him off, or buying the team an extra second to kill that Spy. The Darwin's Danger Shield, the I Hate Pyros weapon. Come to think of it, Sniper's secondaries seem to be replacements that really hate Pyros and Spies. Anyway, in exchange for having a damaging secondary weapon, you gain a 50% overall fire damage resistance as well as immunity from afterburn. This doesn't mean fire is no longer a concern since that damage can still jostle your aim around, but in general, this is the weapon you use when there's a pyro on the enemy team spamming your position with a score shot and you just really want him to knock it off. I mean, hey, if he's having fun at the expense of other people, then two can play at that game. The Cozy Camper's pretty alright. Just by having it equipped, it's like having the Conqueror on Soldier or playing Medic. You regenerate up to 4 HP per second depending on how long it's been since you've taken damage, allowing you to be more secure in your position if no enemies are around or shooting you. Your knockback is reduced by 20% while aiming your rifle, so you're not going to be jostled around as much, and the best and worst part, when your rifle is fully charged, you don't flinch at all from taking damage. It's arguably the best part about the weapon, but it's also the worst part, as you might find yourself too focused on whatever you're aiming at and not on the fact that a pyro's burning you to death, idiot. But still, even if you're suddenly turned to shrimp on the bobby or getting shot to death, you're still liable to get that crucial pick that the team needs, so even if you die, as long as you kill that important enemy, you're good to go. You can die happy. The Tribalman Shiv, I think it's almost good, but as it stands, it's just alright. You do 50% less damage on hit, severely gimping this weapon and making you hit less hard than Scout. But each hit causes bleed for 6 seconds, with the timer resetting each hit. This is either a hit and run weapon where you sneak in a hit on an enemy harassing your team, or a weapon that you track down spies with since the bleed shows through their disguise or cloak. Pair with the Razorback to let the entire server know that you can't stand spies. Now, technically, since the bleed does 8 damage per second for 6 seconds, it does add up to more damage than stock when combined with the initial hit. But seeing as there are many ways to reduce the time of bleed, if not get rid of it entirely, it's just a nice little bonus rather than the be-all of this weapon. The Shanasha, the Shanshaha, the Shanasha? The Sha'ansha. Okay. The Sha'ansha is a pretty alright weapon, though I'd argue it's a touch overrated. It works a bit like the equalizer on Soldier, wherein its damage is dependent on your HP, though rather than damage being directly proportional to your HP, it's just a flat increase. At more than 50% HP, the Sha'ansha will do 25% less damage than stock, at 49. However, when below 50% HP, the Sha'ansha will do 25% more damage than stock, at 81. Overall, pretty alright if you're deep into enemy lines or an enemy gets a drop on you at close range and their aiming kinda sucks. My only real gripe is that you don't really two-shot anyone you couldn't before except maybe medics, but I mean, I guess it's helpful if you damage a spy with your rifle, but yeah, can someone in the comments illuminate me on why this weapon is so beloved by fellow sniper mains? The freaking Bushwhacker. Now, this thing has a pretty hefty price to pay that can feel like tough love, being a 20% increased damage vulnerability while it's active, so you'll have to bear in mind that you're a bit squishier with it out. But this thing doesn't get mini crits at all, no. It crits whenever it would get a mini crit. Enemies are marked for death, bam, crit. Soldiers using the escape plan, bam, crit. Enemies coded in Girardi? Oh, you already know. Yeah. That unlockable secondary replacement that I just talked about earlier and how spammy it can be, that's a whole jar of free crits. Now, just like with the Carbine's mini crits, you shouldn't go charging it all willy-nilly, even after turning your Bushwhacker into Doom Eternal's Crucible. You're still the sniper, you're still a light class and thus flimsy, especially when you're 20% more vulnerable to all damage. It really just depends on having the exact right moment to go on a tear with this thing, but really, the most optimal way to use this is as a god-slaying self-defense tool. Someone gets in your face, you throw the piss and whip out the kiss of death. Are we missing a weapon? This rundown of Sniper's unlockable weapons just feels incomplete, yeah? You didn't think I'd forget, did you?
It's too late.
Shit. The fucking shortstop.
No,
I don't care.
Was there a sentry behind me? Fuck you, crab!
This is my favorite weapon in TF2. The Huntsman is a weapon with no stats, that in most every way is fundamentally different than the stock sniper rifle. Instead of firing hit-scan bullets, the Huntsman fires projectile arrows. Like with the classic, you click and hold mouse 1 to charge the arrow and shoot it on release. Unlike the classic, you move faster than normal while charging. You start building damage immediately while charging, you don't have a laser pointer indicator, your charge is way faster, pyros can light your arrows on fire to give you afterburn capability, and you get a satisfying crunch sound when your arrow hits, as well as being able to pin your enemies to the wall when they're killed. You have a few drawbacks, like a tracer on your arrows when they fire, less charge damage overall, less ammo, your arrows can be reflected by air blast or deleted by the short circuit, and sniper becomes jittery and your arrows inaccurate after 5 seconds of holding your charge. This weapon is unbelievably fun, even with its famously questionable hitbox. If I explain the internal mechanics as to why the Huntsman manages to hit enemies even when it really doesn't feel like it should have, we'd be here longer than the duration of the Battle of Verdun. The general gist is, the Source engine is really, really dumb, and sometimes you get kills you didn't really deserve, but as an old Albanian proverb goes, if it's stupid but it works, then it's not stupid. God damn do I love this weapon. And that's it. That's the sniper. Even before I became dedicated to TF2, I found myself really enjoying sniper rifles in shooter games. Being able to take out any enemy at any distance in one skillful shot has always been euphoric to me, and when you're really good at sniping, enemies won't even have the chance to threaten you up close unless they chance you having tunnel vision. Sniper is much the same way in TF2. Your fortress is the distance between you and your enemies. As that distance grows, so does the strength of your fortress. Good thing then that there's no way someone can breach your defenses and kill you no sweat. No way at all. Okay, there's at least one way. Next time on Let's Play Team Fortress 2, we'll be looking at the team's other, more dapper assassin, the Spy. See you guys in the next episode.
Fleshy. Bang, bang. I love you, Scout.
Ah!
Sorry.
Resist your
That's what's supposed
instincts.
to happen.
Resist your
Well-
instincts. Task failed successfully. Alright, let's try that again.
Go. Are we gonna do the CS:GO?
Why can't you not
I got a free
Yes.
item.
That's so stupid.
Well,
I'm so
we're all gonna
freaking
do
cool.
this.
That is cool. Good job.
That was like a quick
Well,
scope too.
well,
Well,
Just,
that's a
Uh,
cool ass
oh,
unusual
I'm
I'm glad to
bullshit.
do the
That sounds good.
CS:GO.
I'm retreating.
whoa, whoa,
You know
ah!
what's funny? I'm ashamed.
You got a
Scout
hot
under the
pink
point.
scout.
Okay, that's kind of funny. He just has a party hat and monoculars.
New spy sapper. You place it on a building and it tells you the engineer's latitude and longitude.
It tells you the
God, they
enemy
fucking
gamer's
Ubered.
mom's
redo
credit
their-
card
There's an
number.
Ubered spy. Why is there
redo
gaming,
their,
gaming. They're gaming.
Guys,
They're
they're coming.
gaming.
They're
They're gaming.
coming. They're coming, guys.
They're
They're
Guys,
gaming.
defend the point. Defend the point.
Defend
Defend
him!
the
Dude,
point. It wasn't reflecting.
Yeah!
Jesus Christ, that.
We're getting an achievement, guys.
I didn't know if you know this.
Yeah!
Somebody.
Oh, there's a
Oh!
sentry there.
Shoink, that was close.
Jim up.
There's 3 people.
There's a
on
push
point.
coming
Whoa,
towards second.
Oh,
Yeah, mini
whoa,
guys.
buddies, you need to get out of
Guys,
there. That's one down.
guys. Hit the point.
Oh, and I can't.
The
try
point,
and-
the payload.
We gotta
They're
Stop
there.
spamming my ears.
I got it. I got
That's
it.
another one. That was actually smart on his end. Oh, come on!
Oh shit!
That's an amazing trade. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was on point.
Don't worry, I'll watch.
Retard.
There we go, finally.
Just good.
Gamer, I'm gonna be your Razorback. Don't worry.
You shouldn't have forgotten about me, pal.
All lower.
Yes.
I got
I don't
rid of the
have Uber.
stickies. I got rid of the stickies. I'm going.
Scout down.
I had. Fuck.
Leave me alone, please. I'm begging you. Leave me alone.
He's eating,
Leave me
he's
alone.
eating. Do it. Do it.
Thank
Nice,
you.
nice.
Gamer, where are you?
Oh, I'm dead. I'm in the
Never
respawn
mind, you're
queue.
dead.
Too hard.
That sounds like flog charge.
Get him, wise man. Wise man. Proving
Nice.
his name.
Go forth, man.
Go full offensive.
Come on.
Soldier.
Come on. What you got? Oh god, not this! No!
Okay,
Jesus Christ!
please.
That dispenser's probably
Come on.
gonna.
I'm here for you. No!
Yeah.
If you say so.
Die.
One down.
There we go.
Get him of
there-
digest.
Health for you. Oh, look, more health for you.
I'm your medic, you little pussy bitch.
Wow, that's
He
bold.
jumped over my
That is
arrow.
bold.
Oh, hi.
Dang.
For Batman. And it went
What the-
sometime.
I love this.
Revenge. Revenge. I got revenge for you.
God damn! I didn't know Scotland had a space program.
Okay, Heavy, go get him.
And oh!
Oh, I see the problem.
Woo!
Woo!